मुझे भवरोग के भय से बचा ले आज अविनाशी। पड़ा हूँ कर्म के पथ पर, उठा ले आज अविनाशी।
Good. Very good. You have any questions, or shall we call it a day? No questions. You have one question. Take the mic. So I thought all of you want to watch some important match, maybe.
So Swamiji, a small clarification that in the class, when 18th class, when we were talking about the way to the formless is through the form, and you said I point a finger at you, and then you started by saying that what's your weight? That's the physical body. Then you said, are you hungry? That's prana. Then you said, are you excited? That's your mind.
Yeah.
But then when you said, are you happy? You put it in Anandamaya. So a slight question here. That is not happiness at the level of mind also? What is the difference of, why did you put it in Anandamaya and not in mind?
Okay. See, Vijnanamaya is Karta. Anandamaya is Bhokta. So the fact is, the question, so if others don't understand, is in the Taittiriya Upanishad, the Prakriya involves what we call kosha. Kosha really doesn't mean a cover. Kosha means the place where you will find, and it as though covers. Koshavat achadakatvat kosha. So now, when I look at I, based on our areas where we make mistakes about who I am, the Upanishad presents it as 5 levels. The first one is called Annamaya, that is the physical body. The second one is called Pranamaya. What does it mean? Physical body is one area where we universally think, this is me. There's a confusion. We don't say, I am the body. No one says that. Only thing is, if I say, what is your height? You will say it is 5 feet 6 inches. So it's clear that the mistake is made, but we will never say, I am the body. Same way, are you hungry? Are you sick? Are you well? This belongs to what we call prana. So that is called pranamaya. Then we have third is called manomaya. What is manomaya? Mind. So all emotions, etc. belong there. Then comes Vijnanamaya. Vijnanamaya is I am the doer, I am the experiencer. Then we have something called Anandamaya. Now the question is, if happiness also belongs to Manomaya, what should we put in Anandamaya? Ananda, the joy, where does it really belong? It doesn't belong to the mind. Right? Therefore, but though there is Ananda, it is not totally uninhibited. The experienced joy comes in degrees. It's not totally uninhibited. And the degrees of joy can be a whole range. But what is happening? It is only you, but with some inhibition. Therefore, it is placed in Anandamaya. It is not placed in Manomaya. Dukkha is placed in Manomaya. Ananda is placed in Anandamaya. But neither of them is Atma. So, neither of them is Atma. Because if it is Atma, you won't call it a kosha. There's a big argument that Anandamaya itself is Atma, but that's dismissed. So, Anandamaya means what? It is Ananda Vikara. It is a Vikara. There is Ananda, there is happiness, but there is a Vikara. What's the Vikara? I'm a little happy, I'm happier, I'm more happy, all these. So it's presented by the Upanishad in 3 words. Priya, Moda, Pramoda. So those are not just, that 3 stands as representative. So any number of degrees of happiness is all Anandamaya. What is Ananda? You drop the degrees. The what should I say? Degree free means uninhibited. Degree is because of inhibition. It is not degrees of joy really, it is degrees of inhibition. That's what makes it Anandamaya. So they will say Anandamaya means deep sleeper or a person who is happy. Both will come in that for recognition of Anandamaya. Okay?
Yeah. So a small question again. So be it experiential happiness. So be it experiential happiness. Is it wrong to say that happiness? I mean, how do I put it? So happiness is not. It's not a peek into our real nature. So say, for example, if I'm happy for a moment, I would say I don't want anything. Okay, mistake I make is I arrogated to my whatever was the desire. It's fulfilled, so I put it on the reason I put outside. But that anubhava of happiness, I arrogated at the wrong place. I can see it. But that anubhava is that anubhava also a kosha? It's not my nature. I mean, I never get in touch with myself then.
Any anubhava begins and ends. Whatever any anubhava is objectified. That is why you say it's anubhava. Anubhava means experienced. What is an experience? It's called anubhava. Any experience, how do you know? You objectified. And what is Atma? What cannot be objectified. Therefore, whether it is happy anubhava or sad anubhava, anubhava is always going to be what? Not Atma. Anubhava, okay, let me put it differently. Atma is not the anubhava. Atma, you are not that anubhava. But the anubhava is not other than you. I hope it's making sense. True, but here again I'm making sure you understand that yes, happiness is you, but you are not that happiness experience. Experienced happiness, you are not. While it is you, you are not any experience. Because that's like taking one slice and saying that is me. The whole cake is you. Why should you one slice? So anything that begins and ends, anything that comes and goes, anything that's objectified has to be other than me. This is the rule. You start with the axiom. So did you experience it? Yes. Then it is not you. Drishyam. You have Atma.
Atma, no, in a sense, Atma Anubhava.
Huh?
Atma Anubhava.
Atma Anubhava is every Anubhava.
Yeah, I understand that.
So you don't understand.
No.
That is why the question comes.
No, it's only, I mean, only in the context of happiness I'm asking. The experiential happiness. Everything else is also. I know.
Look, you are now making a distinction between experience of happiness and experience of anything else. There is no distinction between one experience and another. Is it an experience? Yes. Did it begin and end? Yes, no. Think, yeah, I don't mind. She can think.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it like, it's like something fallen in your eye. You remove it and you come back to your natural state.
All right. But if it comes back to a natural state, the eye remains the same way after that. Now, any experiential happiness which remains? Then, what's the comparison? You tell me anything which, in fact, I'll tell you what. Your eyes, you say, you remove some dirt and it remains natural state. How many perceptions give you that continuity? To see something is continuous. Like, you see the clock there. It's unmoving. Is it one, is that unmoving clock one continuous experience? To say that clock is unmoving, how many perceptions do you need? It's like your cartoon movie, you know. How many frames do you have to show that Tom and Jerry running after each other? You have so many frames. So if something is on same cartoon channel, cartoon movie, if you see Tom is just sitting like this, is it unmoving or moving? It's still moving. But the only thing is, it's the same thing again and again. Same snot. Same way, if you think your Ananda is continuing, if it's experienced by you, even that is continuously moving. It is not the same. So you are enjoying your ice cream. That ice cream, till it is in mouth, but how many frames even within that to feel that continuity? The continuity is the trick of the mind. So, no experience. See, the reason why you have a special love for this experience is because probably the word Ananda. And Atma is Ananda. But when we say Satchidananda, that Ananda stands for limitless. Ananta. Ananta is Ananda. Because what are you seeking? Whenever you are happy, what are you seeking? Are you seeking something which will end? If it ends, you seek again. So since you seek limitlessly, what you are seeking is the limitless. You see that logic? Since you seek, means you seek incessantly. I won't say limitlessly. You seek incessantly. Therefore, what you are really seeking is something which doesn't cease to be, which is not in time. And that is Nitya Vastu, which is limitless. But every Ananda which is experienced is in time. Therefore, I would say, why Anandamaya? Because it is the closest to Atma. It is that experience which you least resist. You don't really resist it. But if I say, okay, are you happy with the palak paneer this afternoon? Could it be better? Could we do it a little better? Yeah, that's the degree of happiness. So you don't resist the palak paneer if you like it, you are happy with it. But you would be happier if it was whatever you like. Maybe an ice cream thrown in for dessert. Right? So you're not resisting it. But can it be improved upon? Yes. Whereas, suppose there is a pain in your leg. You resist it. That is dukkha. What you resist is away from you. Whatever you resist is not your natural situation. Why do you resist? Because it is not sahajam. It is not your natural state. What do you least resist is the experiential Ananda. Therefore, what is closest to you is that. Therefore, Anandamaya is the closest. After Anandamaya, what comes? Brahma Puchham Pratishtha Anandam. Anando Brahmeti iti Vyajanat. Okay?
Swamiji, when we say we slept well, so we are saying that's Atma, is the Anubhava. Who is saying that I slept well?
You tell me.
The experiencer in that
Sleep state. Yeah.
So, how would we put this question related to that?
It's also Anandamaya. It's part of Anandamaya. Anything experienced cannot be Atma. You should keep this. This rule is non-negotiable. Okay? Anything experienced is in time. Anything experienced, therefore, can drop the word Atma. Drop the word Atma. What am I? Am I something which comes and goes? If it comes and goes, what comes and goes is known to me because I am present and I am different from what comes and goes. So if anything comes and goes, anything with arrival and departure anything which is objectified, anything which is an event, these are all different ways of saying it. Anything which is in time, anything which is a drishya is not me. Don't use the word Atma now. Is not me. It should be very clear. Then what are you? That which never becomes a drishyam. That which never becomes something experienced. What is Atma? Drigeva. It is always the seer, never becomes the seen. Senses are seers with respect to sense objects, but they are seen with respect to the mind. The mind is a seer with respect to sense perceptions, but it becomes seen with respect to the ahankara, if you want to add it. Or you just say it to me. You can skip ahankara and say it to me. Now, can you say you are the object and somebody else sees? That doesn't happen. You never become something that is an object to be seen. That is what Chaitanya is about. Awareness is that in the light of which everything else comes to light. Whatever comes to light is an experience. Whatever comes to light is a vritti. And whatever comes to light was not there before it came to light. Therefore, who saw it coming to light and go out of focus? That alone is you. And you are the one who never becomes something which is objectified. Is that clear?
Two questions on religion.
Please wait a minute. Use the mic. Yeah.
Two questions on religion, Swamiji. Why there are no temples of Brahmaji? One. And what is significance of lingam for Sadashiva or Shiva?
Why there are no temples for Brahmaji? There is some story for it. But what does it matter anyway? Does it, see, I'm not trying to put your question down, but I'm saying when we ask a question, what will you gain if I tell you a reason? What relevance does it have? This tendency is just gathering information. It doesn't do anything for me. But there is a story. I will tell you what the story is. Since you asked a question, I will tell a story. What is the story? Have you heard of the story of Shivaratri? That there is a column of light which appears. There's a column of light which appears. And that column of light is Shiva. Vishnu says, I will find it's an endless column, huge column of light. Vishnu says, I am going to go down as a boar, I will dig down and find out where the bottom end is. Brahmaji says, I will go up and find out where is the upper end of the column. Vishnu comes back and says, I couldn't find the bottom. Brahmaji says, I found the top. He lied. He didn't find the top. Therefore, he was cursed. Nobody shall worship you. What does this? Therefore, there are no temple of Brahmaji. This is a story. This is a story. To me, it's just a story. I mean, somebody told something. I mean, I'm not. See, firstly, there are no three guys called Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. This is all the way Purana's way of presenting three facets of Ishvara as Srishtikarta, the manifester, the sustainer, and the resolver. You look in any experience, if this flower has to be born, then the bud has to be destroyed. If the fruit has to be born, the flower has to be destroyed. Can one thing be done by one guy and second other guy? It doesn't make sense. It's good for representing the three functions. So, in that sense, I'm saying, no offense meant to you. I don't mind your question, but all I'm saying is, the question of why Brahmaji is not worshipped is this. But still you will find one Brahmaji's temple in Pushkar. You will also find, I think, one Brahmaji's shrine in Sringeri. I think, if I recall it right, I've seen it there. So, this is this story, all right? And you will find Brahmaji always included in Dattatreya. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, all three are included. So that's the way it is. That's one question. Linga we'll talk about. Linga means what? Linga literally means that which indicates. Lingyate anena iti lingam. That which indicates, implies. Now, if you want a cause for the whole world to be implied by an image, by some form, what kind of form should it be? Should it be a specific form? A specific form is like this. It's a very specific form. What form would be better suited to imply a source of all forms? It's a formless form, ideally. But you can't have a formless form. Therefore, that linga is considered a form which is closest to a formless form. And that indicates that since there is no, see, when you look at the linga, you really don't see anything there. It's just a linga. And therefore, every form can come from that, because you need a formless gold to get all the ornaments. You need a formless clay to get all forms of clay. So that's the idea. So the word linga means that which indicates. And then you go one step further. The linga, if you go to our temple here, behind Gangadhareshwara, you see a form. It's called Lingodbhava. In every Shiva temple, you will see it. In South, at least, you will see it. What is this Lingodbhava? What's the story for Lingodbhava? Again, you have a story. Stories are good. I told you, Puranas are good in their own way. Child will understand something, but not the whole story. So what is the Lingodbhava story? There is this boy called Markandeya, who was born after a lot of worship by his parents to Shiva. So Shiva blessed the couple and said, you have two choices. You want a progeny? You will have a progeny, but you have two choices. You can either have a son who is a great devotee of mine, very pious, brilliant child, but will be short-lived. He will live only for 16 years. Or you can have a long-lived son, but he will be a fellow who will be notorious. He will not be famous. He will be notorious. He will have all adharma in him. 100 years he will live. What do you want? You have a choice. These are the only two choices. No, let's extend the age. No, these are two choices. You pick one. Which one do you want? Parents are not happy, but they said, we'll settle for the short-lived child. So a child is born, and he is a beautiful child, very, very loving, and very pious, very interested in Shiva, devotee. All people love the kid. And as he approaches his 16th year, the parents are always sorrowful, crying, and this boy sees and says, why? Then they tell him, this is what's the story. He says, okay, I'll take care of it. So in the story, what is he doing? When the 16th year is coming to an end, he is praying to Shiva and his worship, his holding on to the linga. Okay? Yama comes. You know our friend. Yamaraja. Yamaraja comes and he wants to take this guy. Just like morning we said, no, don't touch my bhakta. Ishvara is bhakta, Shiva is the Ishvara here. So when this guy, he is holding on to the linga. And Yamaraja puts his nose and, come on, I'm going to take you. Then out comes Shiva from the linga. And what does he do? He kicks Yamaraja. And since Yamaraja, see, the way it works, once Yamaraja comes and leaves you, he won't come back to you again. Therefore, Markandeya is now still around. He is not gone. And that is what they will show as Lingodbhava. In this Lingodbhava. But what is real Lingodbhava? We say the linga is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That is the real linga. And with that linga, Shiva really comes out. See, what comes out of the linga is Shiva. What comes out of understanding these three lakshanas? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. What is Satyam? That which is. What is that isness? It is that isness which will never change, which is not subject to negation or change. Yo yadrupena nishchitam tadrupam na vyabhicharati tat satyam. It won't change. What would that be? It has to be Anantam Satyam. Because every other existence is in time and space as object specific. So now you see what real Lingodbhava means. It means you will only see Shiva if you hold on to Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. It shows you how Shabda Pramana alone will allow you to see Ishvara, not with your logic. That's the idea of Shabda Pramanam. That you have to know what is it, how do you recognize Atma? Atma is there in everything, but we miss it. It's not something which is not there. In every experience, Atma has to be recognized, but you don't recognize it. How do you recognize it? You need a lingam. You need an indicator. You need something which will take you where you want to go. And that linga is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. So that's the deeper significance of linga. Okay? Yes? Mike, please.
This I just wanted to say something with connection with her question about Ananda.
You have a question or you want to say something?
I want to say something and then follow on with the question.
Okay. All right.
I think a lot of confusion happens because when we translate to English, Satchit Anand, Anand gets translated as bliss.
True.
And I think the problem comes from there, that we mix up Ananda with bliss. That's what I want. Is this correct?
Partly true. But even without that, the word Ananda in Sanskrit also means happiness. So it also means happiness. So Ananda is not Ananta all the time.
No, but you have been saying limitless.
I have been, because when we say, see, contextually, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam is equal to Sat, Chit, Ananda. In that context, Ananda is limitless. But if you just say Ananda, it is not limitless all the time. Ananda means happiness.
Correct, but I think in that context, Satchit Anand.
Possible, but I'm saying it's not necessary. Even if I don't translate bliss, if I just say happiness, it will still have the same problem. The word bliss particularly doesn't do it, if that's what you meant.
Because somewhere I read that Satchit Anand, the Anand there is neither happiness nor.
True, I'm not denying that. All I'm saying is, whether you use the word happiness or bliss or joy, the effect is the same. And the fact is, Shruti deliberately used the word Ananda because there is a connection between Ananda and what you want. You are not interested in limitless. If I asked you all, come on, I will give you limitless, nobody will be interested because you don't understand what limitless means. But if I say, you will become happy, people will come. So what hooks people? Purushartha is joy. Purushartha is not limitless. Jnanam is limitless, which ultimately means you cannot but be happy. But what people seek is not knowledge. People only seek joy. People only seek that wholeness. So your point is well taken, but I'm saying it's got this extra nuance there.
Pranam Swamiji.
Yeah.
Could you draw a comparison for us as to how you perceived the world when you were a student of Vedanta versus how you perceive the world today? And in particular, my question is, how does the frame of reference changed for you over the years? Thank you.
See, the perception doesn't change. How do you perceive? How do you perceive this now? A chain. How do you perceive it if I said, if you're a jeweler?
No different.
No difference. But I want to sell it back to you as a jeweler. How will you perceive it?
As gold.
That's all there is to it. There is no other difference. Perception remains the same. Your way of looking at the conclusion changes.
So is that the litmus test for moksha when that switch
If
happens?
you see everything as only yourself, then there is nothing else. That is moksha.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Om Swamiji.
Okay. Yeah.
So my question is that we say that Brahman and Ishvara is same. It is, I think in the last satsang also you mentioned that it's in different Upanishads it comes as interchanging.
Mhm.
But we always hear this that without Ishvara's grace,
Mhm.
this knowledge will not take place.
Fair enough.
And then we also hear that because we are in this samashti, so that's why create manifested universe. That's why we need the grace of Ishvara.
Last point again.
That we are sort of trying to make our way through this manifested universe.
Okay, go on.
And so what exactly do we mean by that? We cannot have this knowledge without the grace of Ishvara. What is that?
See, Ishvara is all there is here. There is no Brahman other than Ishvara. So you first settle that, okay? There's only one word we're interested in. Because if you think, no, Swamiji, I'll get moksha by knowing Brahman, drop that idea. There is only one thing. All right? Now, equation is Jiva Ishvara equation. You want to know Ishvara. But to know Ishvara, what is the preparedness? What is the preparedness? No. I'm saying, you're in the course? Okay. So I'm saying, what have you looked as the adhikari, viveka, vairagya, shamadhishatka sampatti, mumukshutvam. All these must be there. How do you gain all this? This is one way of saying it. If you are looking at Gita, what is karma yoga? Samatvam yoga uchyate. Samatvam, sameness. Sameness between what and what? Sameness with reference to any situation. How are you going to get that sameness with reference to any situation? You think about it. And suppose I say you cannot get without Ishvara, is the question that can I bypass Ishvara? Is that the question? What exactly is the intent of the question?
The intent of the question is, what do we truly seek? Is it the praying part that we are saying that is what it is meant by Ishvara's grace, or?
No. See, Ishvara is all that is here. And we have to appreciate Ishvara in everything. Which means the things that cause us to not have that sameness. Why do we not have sameness? Because I said this is not good, this is good. This is unacceptable, this is acceptable. This difference drives my life. My likes and dislikes drive my life. How are you going to get the attitude of sameness towards what you think are polar opposites? You need to understand that everything is in order. Means this is how it would be. And that order is Ishvara. You need to understand Ishvara to gain the ability to gain the adhikaritvam itself. It may look fine that you study and, okay, Vivek Vairagya. Vivek Vairagya doesn't just come like that. This is language. In the Tattvabodha, you will see it like that. But if you come to Gita, you will see it as Samatvam. If you go elsewhere, you will see Amanitvam Adambitvam. So the point is, there are so many attributes that are called as adhikaritvam. But ultimately, you must be a person who can more or less accept yourself as you are when relating with the world. Not going up and down. How would you do that? How would you accomplish that growth wherein you can accept what is more or less? It's not easy to accept. You look at how the mind works. It does not even accept your neighbor in the class happily. Not literally, okay? But I'm just saying, the people who we have most difficulties with the ones, if you have a roommate, that's the person you'll have difficulty with. If you have a sister or brother, those are people you can't agree. Your parents, you don't agree. Spouse, you don't agree. This is how it works. So as you recognize, how are you going to accept them more or less totally? Your teachers you'll have trouble with. You can't accept them. Vedanta, it's another problem, it starts. Teacher, everybody wants, but then after a while, teacher is playing partial. He plays good to one person and doesn't allow me. This kind of buddhis start coming. How are you going to see sameness everywhere? And understand, if you find yourself helpless, we are victims of our own past. Our past holds us. What you think of yourself today is not because of today. Your whole past, isn't it? And if your past happens to be something which you are unable to accept, how are you going to say, I'm okay? More or less okay. If someone else is bothering you, you can try to escape. If you are bothering yourself by holding on to your past, who will help you? You try cognitively, I will give up. You can't let go. What will you do then? Then I ask you, what is your way out? Let us leave Ishvara out. What is your way out? Just be helpless. How will time change things? Who manages time? Okay, time changes things, all right? Why will time change things? But how will time change things? What is that manifests in your life as situations? What drives what situations manifest in your life? Karma. So that is already there. How is it going to change? You just wait it out and it gets worse by the day. What are you going to do now? So I'm saying, understand that when we say Ishvara, it is not just prayer to a form. We are not talking Ishvara as one more form which you close the temple and it's out of sight, out of mind. That is not Ishvara. That which completely pervades, governs this body, mind, sense complex, the world outside, everything what is governed, one reality, that is called Ishvara. All right? And that Ishvara, unless you understand, it will be extremely difficult. And if I were to quote Swami, he will say, impossible that you will gain this understanding without Ishvara. And grace is a word which just, see, if I say, if you have a specific outcome for a particular action, like if you lift weights, your muscle grows, let us say. That is called karma phala directly. But suppose now you find yourself in a situation. Which karma makes you what you are? You can't pinpoint the cause for a particular thing. But you are growing. What is the cause? We call that grace. Grace is the unidentifiable karma phala. And that is what is called grace. Because every situational change, every ability you gain, some of it you learn, some of it comes to you. All this you factor in as one thing and we call that grace. Okay? Yes, sir.
I want to know what is the karma, vikshepa and avarana.
Vikshepa and avarana.
Avarana, I have heard it from you, sir. But vikshepa I don't know.
Okay.
Ignorance. Ignorance rather.
No, you are talking of avarana and vikshepa or something else now again?
This avarana and vikshepa.
Huh. Okay. See, avarana means covering. Avarana means covering. Vikshepa means, see, there are two contexts now. Let's understand this. I use the word Vikshepa in the context of the mind. I did not use Vikshepa along with Avarana so far. Avarana I have mentioned in terms of avidya, but I haven't used the word Vikshepa. Okay. I did use the word Vikshepa in the context of the mind. The mind which is scattered, which is not, able to abide in any one thing. I said that is called Vikshepa. Vividham Kshipati. You throw differently. This is Vikshepa in that context. Now, you are asking me Avarana Vikshepa. Then I will give you a different answer. Avarana means covering. Vikshepa is really a word used for how Srishti happens. If you look at Maya Shakti, we say, Shakti Dvayam hi Mayayaha Vikshepavriti Rupini. You will hear this in Drigdrishya Viveka. Shakti Dvayam. There is a twofold capacity, twofold ability. In what? In Maya. What is that? Avarana and Vikshepa. What does one do? One covers, the other projects. The English translation typically gives projection. Okay? You have a single zygote. When a child is born, conceived first, there is a single cell, one cell. How does it become the variety of cells? How does differentiation take place? No, gradually yes. But how one becomes a variety of things? That's the question. And what Swamiji would say, he would explain it like this. And I thought it was very nice. That it's all Boolean. You understand Boolean algebra a little or you don't? Okay. So you have only two numbers. 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Right, correct, bits. Now, if you close one bit, if you make 0 or 1, the whole thing changes. So Vikshepa, the way Ishvara handles it, he does avarana of one bit. And then there is a new creation. You do an avarana of another bit, there is a different creation. Basically, from one, you have to create this whole universe. How is it handled? See, one way they will explain it, which is not very easy to see, is suppose you didn't see the rope lying on the ground. Semi-darkness, you saw. What can you see now? Not necessarily. Avarana is you are not seeing the snake. You are not seeing the rope. This is called avarana. Rope is covered. Vikshepa is you may see a snake, you may see a garland, you may see a pipe, you may see a woman's hair. It's whatever you've seen now. This is called Vikshepa in that context. Then they will say, because of ajnanam, because of avaranam, you don't see what is. Because of avaranam, you don't see what is. Then what will you see? You will see what is not. And what is not is a variety. But that's okay to explain the errors. But when it comes to Vikshepa as Srishti Kriya, then I thought Swamiji's explanation was wonderful. That the whole creation is managed by covering one and opening one. You cover and open, you cover and open. Entire world, because Boolean will cover the whole world for you. Like computers. All knowledge is 0 and 1. Just by covering and opening. That's how he explained that Vikshepa. Huh? Yeah. Okay. Yes, she'll get the chance first. She hasn't asked a question yet.
Is the understanding of Ishvara ever ending?
Ever going to end?
Yes.
Even is it going to be complete? Is that what you mean? Understanding of Ishvara in details will never end. Because in every detail, there are more details. You open up one thing, there are many more. You open up that, so you start at some point. Right? You start with this body. I don't know the body. You open it up, so many organs. You open up one organ, sub-organs. You open that up, cells. Open one cell, so many things. Open one gene, you have RNA, DNA sequence. How far can you go? How far you can go is technology today. It can go further and further because there is never an end to further ability to split. So knowing Ishvara in full detail is impossible. Okay? We know it at some levels for our growth. But then once you understand the truth of Ishvara, which is what? Which is the limitless, timeless, formless reality, and you know it intimately as yourself, in that sense, it's complete. In details, you will never know. In seeing it clearly, that is not separate from it, that the timeless alone, it's like this. Can you ever know all possible ornaments that the jeweler can make with gold? Can you ever know? The minute you say, I know, he will make the new one for you. You can never know. But can you know that all ornaments are but gold? You can. At that level, you can know Ishvara completely. But you cannot know Ishvara in every detail. Is that clear?
What about for the enlightened ones?
Same story. Nothing changes.
Swamiji, I want to know what is efficient cause, material cause. I read somewhere. And also that Ishvara is inert and Maya Shakti is the one which is vibrant and...
I didn't say this.
Not you.
Huh.
You've
been listening to me, right?
No.
No, have you been listening to the class or not?
Yes.
Then this question is not... See, I don't want to take what somebody else says outside of here. It doesn't make sense. I don't want to sow confusion in everybody's mind. So you stick to what I have taught. That's better. Yeah. Yes, anybody else?
Swamiji, I was, since the first question, I was dwelling on, so I was wondering, so how do we feel, I mean, if all the sukha dukkha thing is gone and I'm just, how to say, I'm experiencing Atma or Ishvara, or I'm fully accomplished or something, then how am I feeling? Like, it's not joyful, not happy, or you know what I mean? I mean, can you explain something?
How do you feel in the morning when you're sitting in meditation? No, seriously. When I ask you at the end of the meditation, when I ask you to just be, we did the mantra chanting, we looked at the whole dream today. You were here, right, in the morning? Were you awake? Not sure.
Today was a little bit difficult.
Okay, fair enough. That's why I asked. I understand. Means meditation is working, okay? Because if you sleep, means you got relaxed. At least one job it's done. That's good. I'm happy about it. But the point is, we are only familiar with the doer experiencer I. This is the reality. You don't know yourself without doing and experiencing. What we are trying to do in a meditation session is get an insight into what you are without doing anything. And without, see, experience means what? Experience means whatever thoughts come will be experienced. But you are not deliberately thinking anything. And it's a quiet place, quiet time. If your mind is not going all over, that's why you begin by saying, give the world the freedom. So your mind doesn't go and get hooked here and there. Then we say you become object to the body. So you come away from the world, you have come to the body. Now you come to senses. Then you come to hearing, then you come to mind. Then you give, even with that, maybe the mind is moving. So you give the mind one occupation. You have to stay with one thought. If you successfully did that for a length of time, and you drop that one thought, where will you be? You will be a person, for at least for a moment, with no thought, nothing to do, nothing to choose. You see whether you're comfortable being that person or not. It's not that you have to be like that all the time, moksha, frozen. That's not the idea. This is only to give you an insight that this is what you really are, free from any demands. Basically, you are a free person. But since you make a demand, you become anxious. You become a person who is in trouble. And the demands were made thinking that I cannot be happy unless I fulfill these. I am not the whole. And this knowledge makes you see the reality of all that is here is myself. If that is understood, then whether you're doing, whether you're not doing, it's like this. Let me give a better example for this. If you are an actor, and you're playing roles in a drama, and the roles involve being somebody who's going to get beaten up badly, you're going to get abused, beaten up, everything is going to happen. How would you feel when you're getting beaten up? Suppose everybody, you're nominated for Oscar for that role. How would you feel about it? And how do you feel playing that role? Happy or not? Why? Because the role's pain has nothing to do with you. Suppose that role, in that role you were given the Nobel Prize. That won't make you happy either. Or you were a billionaire in that role. You were playing Donald Trump. I don't know if it's good or bad. But the whole point is, I'm saying, even that is not going to make you happy or unhappy. Because it's just a role. Now, you come down to this, what we are looking at now. Everything you're doing as William is a role. As a son, it's a role. As a husband, it's a role. As a friend, it's a role. All the roles' problems don't belong to you. William is you. You are not William. Until you think I am William, you will have all William's problems belong to you. So, if you are thinking, understandable. The question is very understandable. So, what is this moksha about? No happiness, nothing, just plain vanilla. Huh? No topping, nothing. No. There is no topping. The whole world is ice cream. It's cool. You are the ice cream. Understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, thank you. It makes sense. And but then, so in your example, for example, you said, so how would I feel like as an actor, I'm getting beaten up? I feel happy because I have the chance to play this role, but I feel happy. So
No. Correct. What I'm saying is this. Now, the only part I want you to see there is the role's woes, the role's pains, the role's joys really don't touch you.
It's like just not bothering. This happy is just a word, right? It's just not bothering.
Correct. Nothing happens to you. And the fact is, the whole role is only you. Now, have you know something called a mono action? Means there is a drama where you're the only actor. You play all the roles. Right? So the whole drama is you. And there are many characters. You change your voice a little, you do all that. Then whole drama is you now. And whatever happens in the drama doesn't matter to you. Right? But if you were identified with any of the roles in the drama, in the play, you are affected. So if you think I am William, you are affected. And why do you struggle? Why do you want to earn some wealth? Why do you want a relationship? Why do you want to do anything? Because you feel you are not complete. There are others in the world, many more. You are one among billions. And you are a nobody. Now suppose you recognized that you are not a nobody. In fact, you are the only body. You are the only reality, and the whole world is the reality is you. You lend reality to everything. Like in your dream. There's a dream world. There are so many characters in your dream. Some are happy, some are sad, some are crying, some are laughing, some are sleeping. Everything is happening, right? The whole dream world is what? And you also have a body there. You have your own life. Now, what is the reality of you in that dream? You have a role. Let's say, you're a physician and you're treating patients and all this happening in your dream. Now, somebody teaches you what your reality is. What is the reality? The whole dream is the knowledge of one conscious being. True or not? And you woke up to that possibility. Now you tell me, what are you? The physician, is that real? Is the physician real? Is the patient real? Is the world real? What is the reality of all of it? You. The reality of the physician is the reality of the whole universe of the dream. Now you tell me, if you know this, how do you look at the dream? It's just fun. That's exactly what should happen if we understand this truth correctly. That this whole world is as real as a dream. This is not ordinary. It seems very easy, but it's not that easy to comprehend. But that is what we are trying to say. So if you're looking for an experience, understand every experience begins and ends. Therefore, your joy will be short-lived. And no experience can be continued forever. Therefore, then you again have to struggle for another experience. This is what we are doing right now. That is called samsara. Go from, you're always seeking one experience after another. So what are we? We are experience hunters. Till when will we be experience hunters? Till we don't need to hunt for an experience. When will you stop hunting for an experience? When you feel fulfilled, when you don't need an experience to make you feel fulfilled. And that is called whole, because there is no experiencer, no experience other than you. There is no possibility of looking for an experience in that reality. We never can imagine that, because we are always in the subject-object mode, experienced mode. And the only thing we know is experienced happiness, experienced fullness. But to seek moksha, to seek anything, we don't seek what we don't know. We better seek what we know. I started that, I think, on day 1 or day 2. That therefore, what is moksha? The same thing as when you are happy. You don't want anything to be different, but not something which comes and goes, but you abide in that. And to abide in that means you recognize that what is happiness? You are demand-free, agenda-free. You don't need anything to change, at least for that 1/2 minute. If you were that way all the time. But right now, that demand-freeness just happens as an accident. It's not necessarily intended, or it may happen because you manage to align things properly for yourself. But it is put together in a way, and you don't decide, but if it happens, it happens. Now, suppose you could see that really you don't have demands because you cannot have demands, because everything is you. What happens to all your demands? They go away. If you're demand-free, how will you feel? That is Ananda. That is moksha. Okay? We'll stop now. 9:08. The sun will rise again tomorrow. We will meet tomorrow. Okay? Look, if you all wrote your questions, I'll have a lot more time to know what all you have to say. But no questions written.
Mine is
Okay, all right, last one.
Today only when
Okay, last one.
Yeah, I'm talking about that only.
Yeah.
Today only in the temple, I was trying to ask another person about the Lingodbhava,
Okay.
and I got the answer right there. Thank you.
Okay.
But then I thought that was Harihara, because in South we saw that, which we don't see in the North temples, Harihara. So I thought that Lingodbhava may be Harihara. And somebody told me, no, that's not it. So that Vishnu and Shiva together, Harihara. That's the question. Maybe you can answer that tomorrow.
No, I don't even know what Harihara. Harihara Putra is Ayyappa, that I know. But I don't know anything else about Harihara.
In our Chinmaya over there in Coimbatore,
I
we have
haven't
the
seen.
statue of Harihara.
I haven't seen
Yes,
it.
okay.
See, you can conceive of in million forms and have them. It's up to your imagination,
No, but I first thought that Lingodbhava was that, but then I was told, no, it's not that. And you explained it very well. Thank you very much.
All right. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. I thought today I have no job.